Good morning. It is Friday, May 6th, afternoon, really. As you know, community and collaboration is more important than ever. And with this podcast, we aim to bring amazing conversations with thought leaders and business leaders in our local towns. But today we are going global. And I'd like to welcome Stephanie Gilezan to the podcast. Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you, Carolyn. Honored to be here. You put together an amazing intro there, and I know you are stellar in this business, so pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Yes. So just to introduce you, Stephanie Gilezan is the Director of Growth for the EXP Commercial. And that's been since April 2020, right, Stephanie?
Yeah, we were working behind the scenes in 2020 to get it stood up properly, doing the research, making sure, that we interviewed commercial practitioners all over the country, and officially did our launch in November of 2020.
Okay, great. Well, before we get started, I want to congratulate you because you won an award recently, Woman of Influence by Globe Street, which is a great industry, recognition. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And I know that you and James Huang, the president of EXP Commercial, have been zigzagging the United States, going to conferences. You were just recently at the CCIM, the SIOR. And then right before that, which I was grateful to attend, you guys did the 2-day commercial symposium in the metaverse.
Absolutely. And I mean, it was, our goal with this brokerage is not just to build the best commercial brokerage for all agents and brokers to do their business and grow and scale, but to also provide value content, right? There is so much happening in this industry. And I think a lot of companies overlook the trends, what's coming. And so we want to be the first to educate, number one, and also invite in people that aren't a part of EXP Commercial, because if they're in real estate, what we're bringing to the table for them to learn from is a value to build their career. Heck, even if they're an investor.
No, absolutely. And I mean, there were people from 17 different countries, at the symposium. And, I had invited some guests as well. And I think, people were kind of shocked, like, oh, you guys are putting together this symposium and, providing value. And just like that, I said, yes, we are.
That's exactly right.
It was amazing. And I think, what's also, EXP World Holdings, really both the residential arm and the commercial arm are growing at the fastest rate in the industry. And they're each growing on their own, but they're also helping each other fuel each other's growth as well.
It is, that's one of my favorite parts about this is, we wanted to have the two separate brokerages. One's built, great for residential, one being built perfect for commercial, all of that, right? But what I love is we are a company of collaboration. And even though we're two separate brokerages, what's happening in between is phenomenal. In less than a 5-month period, there was over $9 billion worth of commercial real estate transactions referred from EXP Realty right over to EXP Commercial licensees. That is huge. It's amazing. I was on a call yesterday, and it was an independent broker, small brokerage in Minnesota. And I said, what's your pain point right now? I always want to know people's pain points because I want to know how we can solve the pain point. And his pain point was, he says, listings are hard to come by because they're selling before they ever come to market. I said, what are you doing to solve for that? He said, I'm spending about $60,000 in advertising. And I said, who are you advertising to? He goes, well, I'm running ads. I'm doing online ads. And I said, let me tell you something. $60,000. I'd love for you to just cancel all of those subscriptions, all of what you're paying for, and recreate a plan. I want you to take a look at EXP Commercial. I want to bring you into this brokerage, and I want you in moments to be able to expose what your specialties are to 80,000 residential agents. It's free for you to do that. So put the 60,000 back in your pocket and let's go that route. And so that's what's so important because, if you're not built, with the lead generation and the technology tools and everything that we're built upon, this is how we're able to put more money back into the agent and the broker's pocket. And, just that one pain point and addressing that one pain point, he is coming on board, and we'll check in with him 5 months from now, because I guarantee you his business will have scaled and he didn't spend any of that money.
Right. No, I love that. That's a real testament to the new platform. And I'm in residential brokerage. I've been in residential for 15 years, and over the past 15 years, it's always been a big no-no. You don't touch commercial. You can't even speak to the commercial agents. There's no collaboration, and that has always been a pain point for me, a frustration, because I do a lot of business networking. I work with a lot of business owners, and along the years, I've had opportunities that I could have passed on to a commercial division. But Sotheby's didn't have that when I was at Sotheby's. And even at some of the other traditional brokerages, there isn't a communication, and there isn't the platform for communication. So I agree with you that the workplace where 80,000 EXP agents kind of interchange information all day, there is a plethora of opportunities to jump on, both commercial and residential. And I love how they're kind of cross-pollinating. So
Absolutely. Well, and the great thing too is that, when you have a residential company like EXP Realty doing what, 135 billion in house sales. I mean, think of that number. People that are buying and selling those homes are our clients in commercial. And so I love the fact that the residential agents like yourself are smart enough to say, wait a minute, there's another income stream. EXP is great to us, right? We get to transact and earn commission. We get to earn stock. We get to be shareholders of this company. We also get to build a revenue stream for building and growing the company. But now we have this opportunity, and the commercial agents love this too, because before they weren't tapping into their clients saying, hey, do you need to buy or sell a house, right? They just let that business go. Well, now they're able to refer to EXP Realty. You all are referring to EXP Commercial, and that's why this works. And so we've got agents that have made over 7 figures in income on referral fees alone. That's huge.
Yeah.
You can't even have access to that at any other siloed broker.
Right. Well, that's why you're here, because
Yeah.
I just love it. And I think it's an amazing opportunity, to be able to share with other agents, because I think that it's not well known.
Right.
It's also going global, right? I mean, I know Michael Valdez, who's head of a global expansion, recently announced this week that we have now entered our, I think, 22nd country,
Yes.
with Chile and Dubai. And Dubai being the hub of the Middle East, that's going to open up a bunch of opportunities, commercial and residential. So I think, again, the collaboration, the cross-pollination is really just amazing.
Yeah, the global side of it, we've got agents now, brokers and agents, doing business in Dominican Republic, in India, they're co-brokering with the boots on the ground there. But, there's a lot of money in those countries that want to come and invest in the United States. And that's what I love seeing as well, too, is the influx of income that our agents are able to earn just because we flourished in all these countries. And then also the limitations, as we know, exist in the other brokerages with territorial rights and franchise rights. We don't have any of that.
Right.
And so when people ask me, well, what's my territory if I join EXP Commercial? I tell them the globe.
Right. Yes, 100%. So before we get into kind of the nitty gritty of EXP Commercial and its value proposition for agents and brokerages, I wanted to just delve a little bit into your background, because you have a very unique background. So tell us, where are you from? How did you, make your journey into the commercial world, and now EXP?
So I am from Louisville, Kentucky, and I started in real estate. I got my license when I was 21 years old, right before I graduated college. And really what put me on that path was in the state of Kentucky, I was working on a project. I was political science. And so my path was going to be lobbying. I wanted to go on to law school, get my law degree, and lobby, whether it was for the bourbon industry or whatever the case might be. That's what I love to do. I loved to negotiate and argue, right? So, and state my case and win, that's my thing. I have this competitive nature. So as I'm doing this project in college and discovering that counties in Kentucky that were underdeveloped would flourish if they opened up their minds to alcohol sales, things could change for them. And so we actually did that with a county. And I watched as we changed the legislation, we changed the law. We had to go out and convince, all the residents that this is what you need to vote for and this is why. And then all of a sudden we see all this land where, businesses want to come in, brand restaurants, chain restaurants, hotels, then apartments, and then industry. And it just started to, and I was like, you know what? If I can do this, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a developer. I want to be able to bring these companies in, these businesses in. I want to represent all of this. And so I went and got my real estate license. And right after I got the license, I was trying to find a commercial brokerage that would work for me. And the problem was I never even got the chance. I never got the chance to see if the brokerage was even going to work for me. They didn't even want me. Yeah. I had never in my life, I walked into 7 different commercial brokerages and they all said, nope, we don't take junior agents. Nope, we don't care. I had a plan, Caroline. I had a plan. It was a great plan. I actually had the opportunity to make millions of dollars, which would have made those broker owners a lot of money. And because I was a 21-year-old, I don't know if it was because I was a girl or not. I don't know. But I think because it could have been, because these were male-dominated offices. But these people literally kicked me out. They wanted nothing to do with me. And that fueled this fire in my belly that still is there today. It's not a chip on my shoulder. It's a fire in my belly. Because as I fumbled in the business and finally, struggled, but made a success of myself. I'm a well-known developer in Louisville, Kentucky. I've developed lots of everything from neighborhoods to commercial to office parks to industrial. But I built a heck of a real estate business and really built my brand throughout the state. And so, looking back at those people, I think it was probably 3 years after they all told me no, that they really wish I would come now. But I started my own firm. I scaled it. I was thrilled, happy, building a business. And then one day, EXP Realty found me. And at that time, EXP Realty had 6 agents in Kentucky. I'd never even heard of it. I was like, what are you saying? And so I looked at it and I'm like, there's 6 agents. Like, how long have you all been around? And at that time, it had been, about 6 years that they had opened in Kentucky. And so a lot of these amazing people, from Gene Frederick to Rob Flick to Jay Nelson, John Herhold, Rob Campbell, just kept on me and said, look at this model. And I was an independent owner. I was successful. I was making money on my agents and I was doing transactions. But I sat down one day and I said, okay, what is my 5-year plan? And at that same time, I had a national brand, a couple of them wanting to buy my company. But the problem I had was that everybody that wanted to buy my company, I then had to be their brand, right? And I didn't want to lose my identity. But then the other bad thing about it is that not only did they want to buy my company and I had to become part of their brand, they wanted to lock me in for 10 years. And I don't know about you, but I got to date somebody before I commit, right? And selling my company wouldn't have given me that time to date them, so to speak. And so I turned down this lump sum, which was a good amount of money, and eventually decided EXP Realty could work. But I had to go big or I wasn't going to do it. And so, I had a lot of strategic talks. Jason Guessing was one of those people. And I said, look, in order for me to do this the right way, I want to become the broker of Kentucky for EXP. They go, great, we want you to. Yeah. So I take this position and I'm like, okay, it's time to go big. I've built this massive brand. Now I'm going to put it to great use. And we just launched it out. Stephanie Gilezan, principal broker of EXP Realty in Kentucky. And I grew it to 103 agents in 3 weeks, then 278 agents in about 6 months. And then my business started to scale, not just Kentucky. It started going to Ohio and Indiana and Tennessee and Florida and New Jersey and, all these states. We went from doing about 250 million in personal volume to we should do $1 billion this year. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of that, my team, I'm not doing transactions. They are. I'm here building this awesome brand, but we will do $1 billion this year. And I will tell you that a good 360 million of that is because we're collaborating with EXP Realty agents and EXP Commercial agents all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I could have never done that at any of those other brands. The stock I've earned, all of that. It really is. It was the best decision I ever made. Day one, I got rid of 143,000 in overhead. I mean, when, right? I'm no longer having to, be in it alone. We've got all these trainings, all these systems, and it works. It works. But I've never met so many people across this country and the globe now that we just help each other. I everywhere else, in any other brand I looked at or any company I walked into, everybody was in competition with each other. And I hated that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always stayed independent, because I wanted to make my own rules. I didn't want my agents fighting with each other or stealing from each other. I wanted a culture that I was proud of. And that's what I found at this company. And then fast forward to April of 2020, when we decide commercials, what we need to do, and Glenn and Jason believing that we, would launch this the right way. We have not only built the fastest growing commercial brokerage in this industry, but we're changing this industry. I mean, we are forcing this dinosaur-esque industry to get into the 21st century because they are so old school.
Yes. And actually, I think, you and I kind of see eye to eye on that, because that right, and getting rid of the inefficiency and the inconsistency. And I think being one big company as opposed to franchise model really contributes to that being possible. So how many commercial agents do you now have?
So we are probably just passed over 650 this morning, which puts us ranking in the 11th largest commercial brokerage. And I mean, these are firms that have been around 105 years, 96 years. The other one on the list is 44 years old, right? So we're one, and really not even one, because it took us almost a year to get licensed in all 50 states. So we're now just really finishing our first year of operation. And so, that's tremendous. When we were at SIOR last week and CCIM and all these conferences, the prior time we went, everybody was like, what's EXP Commercial? They'd never even heard of it. Now they're like, oh my gosh, we're watching you all. Look at what you've done.
Yeah. No, I love that. And so because we are one brokerage, and share with us what the advantages of being, signing on to EXP as either a solo agent or bringing your brokerage on. What are some of the major value propositions that are there?
Number one, we're an 80-20 split with a $20,000 cap. And the reason why I point to that, in residential, y'all are used to having, these commission splits and caps and things like that. But in commercial real estate, you have to explain what the cap even means. Right. And that means you as an agent or broker are never going to give us more than 20K in any given year. That's it. And so when I have these conversations with brokers and agents from other companies, the big brands, the independents, whatever, they're typically on a 50-50 split, a 60-40, maybe a 70-30. But you ask them, what did you pay your brokerage last year? Caroline, I have heard 57,000, I've heard 4.8 million and everything in between. And we took a team from a major brand because they paid 4.8 million in split last year. They're not going to pay that here.
Right.
We're providing the technologies. When we're owned by this publicly traded company, multi-billion-dollar market cap with no debt. When I go and Jim and I go to negotiate the technology tools to make sure that we have everything these agents need access to, from the data for the whole nation to valuation systems to, OMs and proposals and site plans and everything necessary in commercial real estate, to get that package for $250 a month is unheard of. Majority of these tools, if you just took three of our tools, that wouldn't cost anybody else over $1,800 per month just for those three. We're packaging 7 for $250.
Yeah.
That's why I saved $143,000 in overhead, because it was costing me tens of thousands of dollars to supply those same tools to the agents that I had.
And Stephanie, can you just list off a few of what those tools are?
Absolutely. So we have national access to Reononomy, which is data. But I love Reononomy because it has this built-in algorithm that you can use for lead generation. So you can look up any style of property. Let's say you're in hotels and you want to look up hotels in America because you've got buyers wanting to buy hotels. I can type in a hotel, I can narrow it down, I can do whatever I want. But they will come up with rankings of high probability of sale. And they do that by taking in the mortgage debt, by looking at the occupancy rates that they've had over time. And it's telling us this is who to target. And I love that, because back in the day, how everyone taught you to build your business in commercial real estate was they handed you a phone book and said, make phone calls. Those are cold calls, right? Cold calls, freezing calls. This actually warms it up because you have a reason. It's telling you the reason of why you need to contact that owner, because of why they have that high probability of sale. Caroline, this is a true story. And anybody watching this can go to EXP Commercial YouTube channel. Watch the interview with Ricky Morales. Ricky Morales spent 18 months at a boutique brokerage. Didn't learn a thing. He was told to go follow that guy around. Well, following that guy around doesn't make you money. Following that guy around doesn't put money in your bank account. Ricky came to us and we have a lot of tools. So he focused on Reononomy and said, I'm going to learn this one and I'm going to master it. And then I'll move to the next. So in 30 days, he landed 42 deals off of Reononomy.
It's amazing.
311 million in volume, millions of dollars in gross commission income. In 30 days, that's what we can do. And so when we go back to my story, if I had had EXP Commercial when I was 21, my God, I wouldn't be on this call. You know why? I'd be owning some island somewhere as a billionaire and you wouldn't even know who I was at this point, right? What I could have done with these systems and tools back then, that's why we can bring juniors into this business.
Right.
We also have build out elite. And anybody in commercial real estate understands that's an expensive marketing tool. But we've also built in 41 syndication partners to it, to where when our agents upload their listing, it automatically goes out to all the different commercial advertising platforms, where before you had to manually upload to all of those platforms single-handedly. So, these are the tools that when we were doing our market research, which was done by a third-party company, these are tools that's what they wish they had. Or these were tools that they couldn't live without. And that's why we put them in our value prop.
Or could not afford.
Or could not afford. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, I will take a look at Ricky's video because I've heard you mention him before. And we have one of my agent partners, Stephanie Gilezan, who is based in DC, is actually going through your Accelerate program as we speak. And she says it's like drinking from a fire hose. She's loving it. I think you guys had like a speed networking with the mentor the other day. And so she's really impressed. And this is a new venture for her. So I love that, that you can kind of start anew You don't necessarily have to have the experience. And then I also introduced you to a commercial brokerage with, who's been in the business for over 50 years. So
Yeah.
I love that it's kind of a one size fits all in a way, but like lots of a la carte, you can pick and choose what you want. But the amazing thing is that it's all there for you if you want it.
Absolutely. And you know, we have brokers that have been in this business for many, many years, and we have juniors, as you said, because we've built the systems, we've built the right agent development for them to be successful. But you know, the players in this industry that are leaving these major brands, they're leaving because one, they want to make more money, but two, they have such limitations at all those brands. And we talked about this as well. You know, when you're at one of those franchise companies, yeah, you've got a global name or a national name, but they don't do national business. And here's why: because they own the territory that they're sitting in.
Mhm.
But if that broker, and this has happened, I would say out of the 650 plus agents on our roster, 45, maybe 50% of them left their former brokerage for exactly what I'm going to say. If they had a buyer that wanted to expand in other markets to start purchasing and investing, they were not allowed to represent them because they had to give it to that franchise in that market. Could you imagine? You've got your buyer that you've worked with, that you've built the relationship, you've built the trust. They want you, but your company says, oh no, you must give that to Phil because that's his market. I mean, who does
Right.
that, right? We
Yeah.
want to build a brokerage. It's a platform. It is a platform for everyone to come on, elevate their business, continue to represent their client no matter where it's located, and to stay in that deal, but to also become an owner, to be able to grow this company and to be able to truly scale their business in a way they've never thought before. Commercial's not a driven tech industry. It needs to be, which is why we're making it, but it's really not. And so we're even teaching the seniors that have been in the business that know everything about commercial real estate. We're now teaching them how to build their brand, how
Mhm.
to utilize social media to gain business, right? So now they're learning a whole new thing that those companies could never show them.
I love it. And you said, to use the platform to elevate your business, but it's also to use the platform to elevate your brand. And I think
Yes.
that, you mentioned earlier that when you joined EXP, that was a big, that was one of your decisive factors, was that you didn't want to fold into a bigger brand if you were being
Right.
bought by somebody. You wanted to kind of keep, you built with your blood, sweat, and tears this business, and that's the brand that is known in Kentucky or here in New Jersey, if we have
Yeah.
local companies. So can you kind of talk to that a little bit, and how you don't lose your identity as a brokerage when you join EXP?
Absolutely. And my brand, on my signs, on all my marketing, my clients never even noticed that now I'm brokered by EXP Commercial because they still see Gilezan.
Right.
That's the name, that's the brand I built. And now it's everywhere, right? It used to be, right here in Kentucky, but now it's all over the place. And that's what's great about it is that the brand is the prominent, right? We always have to go on state law, but your identity is the prominent. This is a relationship business, okay? We had a great EXP commercial explained yesterday. On Thursdays we do. And this broker, it took me about 6 different phone calls for him to finally, do it, right? That was his fear. His fear was that if he left this well-known brand, he would lose his clients because he had never really built a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, listen, John, do your research. I want you to call your top 10, your top 20, your top 50, however many you have. I want you to call them right now and say, hey, Phil, if I move my real estate license to EXP Commercial, will you care? He took me up on that. He calls me back later that day. He goes, oh my God, I feel so stupid. I go, why? Because I'm right. because a woman's right. I mean, you know.
And this is the guy in Chicago, right?
He's in Chicago.
Yeah, I watched that. And it's,
you know, that's the thing. People work with us.
yes,
They work with us. So build your brand. These other national companies or global companies, they want the brand to be the prominent. They
right.
don't want you to have any recognition. They don't even want you bragging on social media. They definitely don't want you doing PR releases. We have an agent right now that left his firm that he had been at. He represents a major company in the United States. And the Business Journal wanted to do an article on how he did all these warehouse deals for this large company. So he did the interview. Why not? He landed the business. He built the relationship. Because he was mentioned in the article, his company had an issue and wanted to sue him.
Mm.
Because his name was mentioned.
Yeah,
they only wanted the company name mentioned.
Yeah, that is
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's, why try to stunt the growth of your people, right?
Yeah.
Because when we all grow, the rising tide raises all boats. And I'll just kind of end with this story on the residential side. I came over to EXP in January with a team from Sotheby's International Realty. And many of them were scared about losing their luxury listings. Well, the week that we made the move, we landed two $1.6 and $1.7 million listings. And we've continued to get $1 million listings ever since. So, for anybody who has that fear, it really is in your mind. The consumer's relationship is with you and not the brand. So, well, Stephanie, I think you're going to be at the Shareholder Summit next month, right?
I am. And for anybody that's in commercial real estate, I'm going to be at ICSC in a couple weeks out in Vegas for that conference. So we'll have a booth, we'll have representation, and we're going to get, do some great business out there. But, I do want to leave, with this last thought too, just on what you said, about the luxury listings. And in EXP Commercial, just yesterday, we've had brokers and agents writing billion-dollar deals, right? 500 million, 400 million, 55 million, because I've had that question too. Well, what kind of commercial brokerage are you? You all doing the little small stuff? Well, they're doing everything all the way up to $1.1 billion.
Yeah. I saw the 500 million one in Houston. I saw that one of your guys did that. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
It's my hometown, so it caught my eye.
Oh, good.
Yes. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time. I will see you at the Shareholder Summit because I plan on attending. And hopefully we can help grow EXP and bring this opportunity to more people.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Stephanie.
Bye.